I am 65 years old today, but for 40 years of my life, 4 long, grueling, physically punishing decades, I was a professional house cleaner. I spent my youth, my 30s, my 40s, and my 50s on my hands and knees. I scrubbed the massive hardwood floors, the endless marble bathrooms, and the pristine, shining kitchens of people who had far more wealth and privilege than I ever would. Over those 40 years of breaking my own back to make other people's homes look perfect, I watched brilliant, exhausted women completely destroy their own bodies and their own peace of mind by holding on to miserable, outdated cleaning habits. Today, if you walk into my own modest home, you will see that it is absolutely spotless. The air smells like fresh morning rain. The floors shine beautifully in the afternoon light, but I absolutely never scrub anymore. I never wake up with a burning, stabbing pain in my lower back. I threw away the heavy buckets. I threw away the stiff brushes. I finally stopped doing the things that were secretly killing me. I am going to share with you the 5 things I completely stopped doing after 40 years in the professional cleaning industry. If you are tired of being an exhausted slave to your own home, and if your aging joints are begging you for mercy, please sit down, pour yourself a warm cup of tea, and stay with me. Let's reclaim your life right now. The first thing I completely stopped doing is something that physically destroys women's bodies faster than anything else. I call it the heavy water trap. I stopped carrying buckets. I want you to really think about the physics of how we were taught to mop a floor. We take a massive plastic bucket. We fill it with 2 or 3 gallons of hot, soapy water. Suddenly, that bucket weighs over 20 pounds. We lift it out of the sink, twisting our lower backs. We carry it across the house, the dirty water sloshing against our legs, soaking our socks. We take a heavy, thick cotton string mop, plunge it into the water, and then we have to use incredible upper body strength to wring it out. I used to clean a sprawling 3-story Victorian estate for a family. Dragging that heavy, filthy bucket of gray water up 3 flights of stairs every Tuesday morning literally compressed the discs in my spine. By the time I was 50 years old, my doctor told me my shoulders were permanently damaged from the repetitive motion of wringing out heavy, wet mops. And the worst part? After the first 10 minutes of mopping, the water in that bucket is absolutely filthy. You are no longer cleaning the floor. You are simply taking dirty, cloudy, bacteria-filled water and spreading it evenly across the room. I made a firm, unbreakable decision. I stopped carrying water. I threw my heavy plastic buckets and my foul-smelling string mops straight into the garbage. Today, I only use a feather-light, flat microfiber mop and a tiny spray bottle filled with hot water and a single drop of dish soap. When I need to wash my kitchen floor, I walk effortlessly through the room, standing perfectly straight with excellent posture. I spray a fine mist of water directly onto the floor, and I glide the lightweight microfiber pad over it. It weighs almost nothing. When the microfiber pad gets dirty, I peel it off, toss it directly into the washing machine, and attach a fresh, clean one in 2 seconds. I never lift a heavy bucket. I never wring out dirty water with my aching hands. I never spread gray water across my beautiful floors. Stopping this one single habit saved my spine, and it completely removed the physical dread of washing the floors. You do not need a bucket to have a clean house. You only need a smarter tool. The second thing I absolutely stopped doing is something that preys on our anxiety and our impatience. I stopped the frantic instant wipe. Have you ever encountered a terrible stubborn mess, a pan of baked-on lasagna cheese, or a shower door covered in a thick, cloudy layer of hardened soap scum? Human nature and decades of bad television commercials tell us exactly how to react. We panic. We grab our spray bottle, we spray the surface furiously, and within 1 second we grab a stiff sponge and we start scrubbing. We scrub with intense, frantic energy. We push down with our entire body weight, gritting our teeth in frustration. We scrub in tight, desperate circles until our wrists ache, our knuckles turn bright white, and our shoulders feel like they are completely on fire. We have been completely brainwashed to believe that physical suffering, elbow grease, and brute force are the only ways to remove stubborn dirt. I refuse to use physical brute force anymore. My severe arthritis simply will not allow it. The greatest, most profound secret I ever learned in the commercial cleaning business is that time, simple, quiet, undisturbed time, is your very best, most reliable employee. I completely stopped scrubbing immediately. When I face a difficult, hardened, ancient mess in my kitchen or my bathroom today, I spray it lightly with my warm water mixture, and then I stop. I take my hands off the sponge. I walk away. I completely leave the room. I go to the living room, sit in my favorite armchair, and I read a chapter of a good book. I let the liquid sit, completely undisturbed, on that stubborn stain for at least 10 to 15 full minutes. When you actually allow the moisture the proper time to do its job, it penetrates the hardened cement-like crust of the stain. It breaks the dirt down chemically at a microscopic level. When I finally walk back into the kitchen with my soft cloth, I do not scrub. I just do one gentle, smooth, effortless wipe across the surface. The terrible mess completely slides off, like melting butter on a hot pan. The beautiful, profound surprise here is that cleaning stops being a torturous cardiovascular workout. You let the clock on the wall do all the heavy lifting for you. 10 minutes of quiet patience saves you 10 hours of throbbing joint pain. Stop fighting the dirt. Let time do the work. Take a very deep, slow breath with me for a second. Can you feel the physical difference already? Just imagining your day without carrying heavy, sloshing buckets of dirty water, and without violently scrubbing your shower walls until you are out of breath. Your daily movement is getting so much easier just by changing your philosophy. I want you to know that I had to learn these painful lessons the very hard way. I remember sitting in my old beaten-up car after cleaning a massive house for a family of 6. I was crying silent, bitter tears, gripping the steering wheel because my hands were cramped into tight claws. I couldn't even turn the key in the ignition to drive home. The old way of cleaning, the way society demands of us, was breaking me into pieces. But abandoning the heavy buckets and the frantic scrubbing is only the beginning of the journey. What about the products we bring into our sanctuaries? What about the actual air we breathe? That is exactly where we must go next. The third thing I completely stopped doing was poisoning my own lungs. I stopped buying toxic miracle chemical cleaners. I want you to walk down the cleaning aisle of any modern grocery store. It is a terrifying wall of bright neon liquids, neon green, bright blue, harsh purple. They sell us foaming bleach sprays, heavy ammonia glass cleaners, and acidic tile scrubbers. They convince us that if a product doesn't burn our nostrils and make our eyes water, it isn't strong enough to kill the germs. I used to clean a gorgeous mansion for a woman named Mrs. Sterling. She was absolutely obsessed with heavy industrial chemicals. She believed that if a room didn't smell like a sterile hospital hallway, it wasn't truly clean. And because of that terrifying obsession, I was forced to inhale microscopic droplets of bleach and ammonia for 8 hours a day. By the time I went home to my own family, I had a blinding headache, my throat felt like sandpaper, and I had a chronic dry cough that lasted for years. Worse than that, those harsh, biting acids literally ate the natural shine right off Mrs. Sterling's expensive marble countertops. The chemicals left a sticky, dull, porous residue that actually attracted more dirt and dust the very next day. I decided long ago that I was never going to poison my own air or ruin my own surfaces ever again. I completely stopped buying those expensive neon bottles. The professional secret I learned the hard way is this. For 95% of the surfaces in your entire home, all you need is warm tap water, a tiny drop of gentle dish soap, and occasionally plain white vinegar. That is it. Warm water lifts heavy grease naturally. Gentle dish soap traps the microscopic dirt. White vinegar dissolves hard water stains and neutralizes bad odors. When you stop the toxic chemical flood, your surfaces actually stay clean for 3 times as long because there is no sticky chemical residue left behind to trap the dust. And far more importantly, you protect your delicate lungs, your breathing, and your overall health. You save hundreds of dollars a year, and your home actually smells like pure, clean, vibrating air. The fourth thing I stopped doing is something that steals our joy and ruins our lives. I completely stopped dedicating my weekends to cleaning. I stopped the Saturday morning martyrdom. Think about how we were raised to manage our homes. We work hard all week long. We are exhausted. So we let the mail pile up on the dining table. We let the laundry overflow in the basket. We let the dishes sit in the sink. And then Friday night arrives, and instead of feeling happy, we feel a heavy sense of dread, because we know that Saturday morning is ruined. We wake up early on our only day off. We put on our oldest clothes, and we spend 6 grueling, exhausting hours binge cleaning the entire house. We run from room to room, vacuuming, dusting, mopping, and sweating. By Saturday afternoon, the house is clean, but we are completely physically shattered. Our weekend is gone. In my 40 years of cleaning, I realized that binge cleaning is a cycle of pure misery. I stopped doing it forever. I do not have a designated cleaning day anymore. Instead, I practice the art of invisible micro-habits. I never, ever leave a room empty-handed. If I get up from the living room sofa to go to the kitchen, I take the empty coffee mug with me. If I walk down the hall, I take the folded sweater. I run a tiny load of laundry every single morning, which takes 2 minutes to fold. I wipe the bathroom sink for 10 seconds immediately after I brush my teeth. Because I do these tiny, invisible, effortless tasks as I move naturally through my day, the mess never ever has the chance to accumulate. Clutter simply stopped existing in my home. When Saturday morning finally arrives, I wake up, I pour a hot cup of coffee, and I sit on my porch. My house is already spotless. I reclaimed my weekends and I reclaimed my freedom simply by refusing to let the mess wait until tomorrow. Close your tired eyes for a second and imagine something beautiful with me. I remember the very first time I applied all of these new rules in my own small, modest house. I poured my hot afternoon tea, walked slowly into my living room, sat down, and realized it was perfectly, beautifully quiet. The air was crisp and free of chemicals. The surfaces were clear. And my body, my aching, aging body, didn't hurt at all. I felt a massive, heavy weight lift entirely off my chest and evaporate into the air. But throwing away the heavy buckets, stopping the frantic scrubbing, and reclaiming our weekends is only the physical part of the equation. There is one final thing I stopped doing. It is the most heartbreaking, tragic habit I ever witnessed in my 40 years of working inside other people's intimate lives. This last thing has absolutely nothing to do with wet sponges or vacuums or dust. It has to do with your heart and your deeply wounded soul. The fifth and final thing I stopped doing was cleaning to prove my worth to the world. I stopped the perfection trap. For 40 long years, I watched women torture themselves. I watched brilliant, loving mothers and grandmothers run themselves ragged, pushing through back pain, sacrificing their sleep, all to ensure that their baseboards were perfectly free of dust. We buy beautiful homes, and then we treat ourselves like the tired, underpaid janitors who just work there after hours. We have been conditioned by society to believe that a perfectly spotless house is the ultimate measure of a woman's value. We fear the judgment of our neighbors. We fear the judgment of our mothers-in-law. We think that if our living room is messy, we are somehow failing at life. I refuse to live under that crushing weight anymore. I remember a client of mine, Mrs. Carmichael. She was a lovely woman, but she was paralyzed by the fear of imperfection. She had a massive locked glass cabinet full of exquisite hand-blown crystal wine glasses. She told me once with a sad whisper that she was saving them for a truly grand, perfect party. A day when everything in the house was absolutely flawless. Mrs. Carmichael passed away silently at 82 years old, and those beautiful crystal glasses had never, not once, been filled with wine. The perfect day never came. I went home that very afternoon. I walked straight into my kitchen. I opened my highest cupboards, and I took out my absolute best, most expensive porcelain plates. I used them that night to eat a simple, quiet Tuesday night dinner of soup and bread by myself. I stopped cleaning for the approval of ghosts and guests who rarely visit. I started cleaning only to create peace for myself. I am begging you, stop treating your home like a museum that you are not allowed to enjoy. Stop saving your beautiful things for a special occasion that may never arrive. Light the expensive, fragrant candle you have been saving in the back of your bathroom drawer. Sleep on the luxurious, high thread count guest sheets tonight. Drink your morning tap water out of the fancy, fragile crystal cup. Let the grandchildren sit on the good sofa. Taking 5 minutes to sit in your tidy living room and actually enjoy the beautiful things you worked so hard to own changes your psychology entirely. Cleaning stops feeling like a horrible, endless punishment for simply existing. It starts feeling like a luxurious, beautiful gift you are preparing for your future self. You are the special occasion. Today, right now, is the special occasion. You know, as I am telling you these 5 things I stopped doing, sitting here sharing my life, my aching joints, and my 40 years of professional secrets with you, I am realizing something very profound. For most of my life as a younger woman, I truly thought that struggling, sweating, and suffering over a heavy bucket of soapy water meant I was a good, worthy person. I thought my value as a human being was tied directly to how clean I could make a stranger's floor. It took severe arthritis, swollen, painful joints, and decades of cleaning other people's empty mansions to finally teach me the greatest lesson of all. Worthiness has absolutely nothing to do with how hard you suffer. It is about how kind and how gentle you are to yourself. Getting older doesn't mean we have to surrender to the clutter and let our homes fall apart. But it certainly doesn't mean we have to live in daily, agonizing physical pain to keep things looking nice either. Your home should be your safe, warm sanctuary, not your cruel, demanding master. So here is my heartfelt, honest challenge for you today. Do not try to change everything tomorrow morning. Do not overwhelm your mind or your body. Just pick one single thing we talked about today. Just one. Maybe tomorrow you just throw away that heavy mop bucket forever. Or maybe tonight you drink your evening water out of your absolute fanciest glass. Step by gentle step, habit by habit, you will reclaim your physical space. And far more importantly, you will reclaim your absolute peace of mind. I would absolutely love to know from the bottom of my heart, which one of these exhausting habits are you going to stop doing first? Or maybe you have a clever, lazy little cleaning secret of your own that saves your aging joints from pain. Please, tell me in the comments down below. I promise you, I read every single one of them, and I learn so much from the incredible lived wisdom in this community. If this video brought you even a little bit of comfort today, or made you feel a little less alone in your daily struggles, hit that like button, and please subscribe to the channel so we can share more quiet, peaceful moments like this together in the future. Thank you so much for inviting me into your home today. Take care of your beautiful, capable body. Be incredibly gentle with yourself, and I will see you next time.